So we'll get started today on our backs. Gonna warm up our low back a little bit. Get us ready for some good movement. We're gonna start by arching our low back up to the ceiling as if there's a string pulling our belly button up to the sky. Our hips and our shoulders stay on the ground, slowly coming up and then releasing very slowly. Coming back down to the ground, finding a complete rest right here. Now this time our hands come behind our back of our head. And we're not pulling on our head, but very gently as we're depressing our belly button into the ground even further, kind of lifting our hips up a little bit, making this like a bowl shape with our belly. We're lifting our head up at the same time. And very slowly release back down to the ground. Very good. And give a complete relax here. And then again, our belly button is being pulled up to the ceiling. Slowly, and then slowly release back down to neutral. And get complete relaxation here. And then hands behind our head again. We're depressing, making a bowl shape with our low back, and we're lifting our head up to the sky. Gently, we're not pulling on our neck, and then we're slowly releasing back down to neutral. Good. And now completely relax. From here, you're going to want to feel as if your low back is glued onto the ground. Keep that low back there. That's your most important thing. And this next exercise, we'll be lifting up our legs. You can keep your knees at a 90-degree here or bring them in closer to your body, or experiment with straightening them out more and or moving them down to the ground. Wherever your comfortable challenge is here, you put your palms facing up to the ceiling. We're just going to pump our palms at our comfortable challenge wherever our legs are. I'm going to count to 50 here. And now is an excellent time for us to start really coming into our body, coming into this moment, this time that you have carved aside for yourself. If there's any worries or tensions, any obstacles in your way, in your life right now, imagine the tension from those is just melting down into the ground. It's leaving your body. It's leaving you fully present here in the moment. And call back your awareness from all other times, all other places and people and events. Bring all of your energy back to you. Call it behind your eyes so that it can fill up your whole being. Today for our yoga practice, we will be focusing on our low legs, so our calves and our shins. Releasing tension, strengthening, giving some love. And as we go through our practice, we can say to ourselves, I stand tall in my own space. "45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Can release completely and just take a second here. Just check in with your body and see how you're feeling, the sensations you're experiencing. And we'll slowly make ourselves up to sitting. We'll meet each other at sitting. And we'll do a couple of deep breaths here. If you would like to use your hands to kind of help really get this coordinated movement together, put your fingertips together at the bottom of your rib cage. A deep breath in and out to the side of your ribs is going to fill your lung capacity fully, and bring your fingertips slightly away from each other. And then a slow exhale will bring them back together. And again, filling up that whole lung space. And one more breath. Good. From here, we'll get started with moving some of our lymphatics. We're going to start at our K27 points. So that's if you find the U in your sternum, called your sternal notch, go slightly diagonal. There's two little depressions right where your sternum and your collarbone meet. So you're going to be digging deeply into this area and doing small little circles around. We're giving this neurological feedback to your nervous system. Deep pressure is very calming to your nervous system. So we're telling the nerves right here at these lymphatic ganglia that they're calm, they can release and relax, allowing the full lymphatic fluid movement. If it's a little painful, just keep digging. Over time, it will get better and not as painful because less congestion. From here, on the outside, you might want to move your legs out in front of you because you want to get the actual outside of your legs. You're going to move down about a third of the way down. And you're going to dig right in here in this spot. Right on the outside of that big bone or femur bone, about a third of the way down. Notice if you feel any tenderness any there, any congestion. We're working on releasing the lymphatic vessels, especially in our lower legs. From here, let's move to our back. This one can be a little tricky to find, so just do your best. But we're looking for your L2 vertebra. So wherever your ribs end, we're going to go down 2 vertebra. It's a little tricky to find. You can either find the little bony pieces of your spine in the back, or just give kind of an estimate here. So on either side of that bony projection in your spine, about 2 vertebra down from where your ribs end, you're going to be really digging in. See if you can notice any spots of congestion here. Make sure you're breathing into these areas. We'll move to the front of our body again. Right where your rib cage ends, at the middle of your body is, we're going to be digging in right there. So it's in the soft part of your belly, right around the edge where your rib cage ends, on either side of kind of like this midline. Whew. This one is a good one for me this morning. It's easy to want to shy away when it hurts, but try to confront the discomfort head on. From here, let's move to our pubis bone. So that's just like the right in front of your groin, that bone where your pelvis kind of meets right in the middle. This can be a sensitive spot for lots of reasons. If you're comfortable, go ahead and just give those deep pressures right on that bone. Notice if you have any sensations in your body at any of these points, any tingling, any sense of movement. These are all good signs. From here, we're going to go underneath our rib cage. Really dig down as deep as you can get. starting kind of at the middle and going out to the side and then coming back. This can be a little tricky one, but just make sure you dig in as much as you feel comfortable doing. Go ahead and notice any sensations if you're feeling any sense of movement, a chill, a tingle. And lastly, we're going to move to the inside of our legs. And we're going to give a deep, deep dive right along the inside of our legs from the top of the femur all the way down to the knee. Good. Excellent. So from here, we're going to move, let's get some of this lymphatic tissue moving. And so we're going to be just slightly flicking the skin above and below your collarbone on one side. We'll be ultimately doing both sides. And then move to some gentle but firm taps all along this area. And then some gentle and firm circles or semicircles, figure eights, anything here to just get this tissue moving. We'll move now to the next side. Again, just flicking the skin, just getting it slightly a little bit warmed up. And then some gentle and firm taps. And we're just getting this fluid that's right underneath the skin, your lymphatic fluid, engaged and giving it some movement. Now, again, your circles, figure eights. So we've cleared out some key areas of potential congestion. Now we're really helping get that system moving freely. From here, let's go to your abdominals. If you're comfortable, you can do it right against your skin, or you can do it on top of your clothes. It's just slightly more effective on your skin, but feel free to do it over your clothes. This is flicking of the skin. Now some firm and gentle tapping all the way around your whole abdominal area. Deep in your abdominal cavity is your largest lymphatic port. So this is a really important spot. Now for your circles, because of all the soft tissue here, it's easiest to grab both with your hands. Just do actually kind of deep circles here. Because of all the soft tissue, there's not much resistance for the skin. So we have to dig a little bit deeper. Using more of surface area can help us get that fluid moving. For our last spot today, we'll go behind our knees. Again, if you can do it skin on skin, that's slightly better, but over clothes is just fine. Just flicking that skin, getting a little warm. And then giving some firm and gentle taps. And now some circles, semicircles, figure eights. Anything that firmly and gently here, just going to kind of get that fluid moving. Good. Now let's meet it standing. And we're going to use the biggest passive pump in our body to continue this lymphatic fluid. So we're going to just be bouncing on our toes a little bit, let your arms dangle loosely, bringing some amusement and humor to our movement today. Breathe deeply here and really listen to the sensations in your body. Notice if anything is changing, what you're feeling. From here, let's move to a crouching position. You can use your hands for support, and we're just going to bounce up and down here in this crouching position. And then we can rock back and forth just a little bit on our heels and our toes. We're warming up this lower leg area while also keeping that fluid moving. Excellent. Good. From here, we can take a seat and we're going to do some self-directed warm-ups movement here. Really an important part of getting your nervous system really in line with your body and getting that excess tension moved out is to be able to really feel our body and to feel really in control and powerful in our movement. So as we think about movement, we know that we move from our skeletal system and by the movement of the joints. So we're just going to take some time to play around with their joints, starting with our spine. What are some things that you can do to move that spine this morning? So I'm feeling a little bit of this lateral bend, this kind of C-shaped curve. That's feeling good to me today. And feel free to follow if your body's not really calling to you today. But also feel free to just listen to what do you feel like you want to move? And then go ahead and do that and see what that feels like for you today. While here, you can especially do like some tapping if you want. You can tap at the edges of your body, especially farthest away from your core. This tapping can actually help your nervous system remember the edges of your body, which sounds a little crazy, but we get so used to just doing our normal movements that our nervous system sometimes starts to blur kind of the edges between the actual edge of our body. We get so used to being in these certain positions. So it's good to actually give some attention to these peripheral areas. After you feel like you've got your spine kind of warmed up, what about our hips? Our hips are important for movement. We might want to do some forward bends, maybe with your legs folded, maybe with them out in front of you. Maybe you want to do a little side bend. Good rule of thumb is whatever movement you are doing, make sure you do it on both sides. And notice if there's any differences here from one side to the next. And we have our legs and our arms. I kind of stretched out my arms a little bit when we working the spine. Maybe you did too. Let's give a little love to our lower legs. Kind of feeling where they are today. What kind of movement do you want? What kind of movement is your body calling for? Good. Go ahead and finish your exploration here. And we'll come back together. We'll get started with some of our yoga positions today. Now we've gotten our body kind of online. I think we're ready to go. We're going to come actually to the back of our mat. Let's see, try this. Back of our mat. So we have our our feet are parallel with the long side of our mat and we're at the bottom of it. Raise your hands way up to the sky, keeping that neutral low back. Shoulder blades down on the torso, neck nice and long. Finding that smile today. On an exhale, we're going to release. Follow down with your shoulders at the same level as your heart. Flying down to the ground, keeping that low back supported by your abdominals, being pulled navel to spine. Just stay here for just a moment. Give yourself a little rocking. Make sure that your knees are not locked out. They're a little bit bent. Just give yourself a little rock here. And with your awareness, really focus on how you're feeling. The slower somatic practice can actually be harder sometimes because we have to really use that mind to get engaged. So it's okay if it's tricky. Breathing deeply here. Now, if you can, go ahead and place your palms underneath the balls of your feet and your toes. Notice how this changes the sensations in your body. What are you noticing here? And you're rocking back and forth. And you find a spot of stability. And with one of your palms, just slightly lift that foot up. So you're feeling a nice stretch, nothing too uncomfortable, just a nice gentle stretch. Notice how that changes, any movement in your body, any sensations, and gently release it down to the ground. Now do the same with the other foot, the other hand. Just gently lift that foot up to the sky, feeling that stretch, seeing how it changes, any movement in your body, and release. Now bring your palms to the ground. We're going to lift up slightly on our toes. Notice how that changes. What is that doing for your body today? Release your right foot down to the ground. And notice the changes here. Now reverse. Right foot back up on your toes. Your left foot's now flat on the ground. Breathing into any sensations you're feeling here. And release. Hands planted on the ground right near your feet. You're going to lift up one of your legs, your right leg. And we're doing a little standing split here. Remember, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's matter what it feels like. So keeping that grounded knee slightly bent, you're not locking it out, feeling that stretch in your back body. And on your next inhale, you're going to be rolling your foot right through up to the top of your mat. You're coming back up on your toes on your left foot. Your front foot, your knee is going to be stacked over that ankle, and we're lifting straight up. We're supporting ourselves. That right knee is over that right ankle. Noticing your sensations here. I'm especially noticing my left front hip. Take any movement that might feel good. Breathing right into here. Feel free to move your hands once you've found your point of stability. Breathing into your challenge, making sure you're still able to smile. Bringing up that energy from the earth. Stay here just a little bit longer than you thought you could. And on your next exhale, your hands come down to the ground. Your left knee comes to the ground as well, and your right knee straightens. So you're kind of rocking back a little bit here. Finding your comfortable challenge, finding a little tug at the back of your right knee, the back of your right leg, all the way down. If you're just getting it in your hamstrings and the top of your leg, feel free to play around with the ankle position as you point and flex that ankle. How does that change the sensations in the back of that leg? Moving slowly with that ankle. Imagining what's happening inside your body. Really being right here in the moment with it. Excellent. Very good. Now from here, we're going to imagine our next step in our mind's eye. We're going to be coming back to the back of our mat again. This time we'll be lifting our left leg up into the air and sending it forward to find our supported and stable Asha Chandrasana position. So imagine your mind's eye, what that's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. And on your next exhale, release your current position and find your back of your mat with your legs. You're up in the air, your hips are up in the air, your feet are grounded. Moving your hands back towards your feet if they're not already there. Your left leg comes up straight behind you. Stay here for a moment, noticing that grounded leg sensation. How is that feeling today? After that nice stretch that we just did, getting your nervous system, your brain really engaged with that whole leg. On your next exhale, you're flying that upper leg up to the front of your mat, walking your hands up with it. Your back leg stays on its toes, your left knee over your left ankle. And then lift yourself up and support yourself with that front leg and your back toes. Find any movement that you might need to get that even balance between your front and your back foot. Playing with your arms, maybe you need them down on the ground, maybe they feel better on your knee, maybe you want them up in the sky. Listening to your body, seeing if there's anything it's asking you for. It does so much for us, and now is the time for us to give back. Pulling up that energy from the earth, giving yourself just a little bit more time here than you thought you were able to. Breathing deeply in. On your next exhale, your hands come to the ground. Your right knee comes to the ground as well, and your left knee straightens. So you're rocking slightly backwards here. Your right hip is stacked over your right knee on the ground. You want to make sure you're not blocking out that left knee, that long knee here. The moment to really feel the sensation. What are you noticing inside your body? What is relaxing and what is stretching? Feel free to start pointing and flexing that left ankle. Going slowly to notice the changes in sensation, especially in that long leg. What are the qualities of this change? Does it feel like movement? Does it feel like tension or relaxation? Does it have a color or a texture? And slowly moving through this back and forth, keeping your awareness, your attention on the changes and the sensations in that long leg. From here, we're going to imagine our next position. We're going to be kind of slightly rotating and finding a seated position, but our left leg will still be long. And our right foot, the sole of our right foot will be coming to the inner of our left long leg. So imagine what that might look like, might feel like. And on your next exhale, let's make this movement together. It's going to be slightly rotating, keeping that long leg long. Your right foot is coming to the sole of your left long leg, and you're finding your seated position here. Arms come up to the sky, feeling that elongation as if there's something pulling your crown of your head up, lifting that navel towards your spine. You're going to rotate over that long leg and find your bend here today, bending only at those hips. As soon as you feel like your low back needs to engage, then go ahead and back off. Remember, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It only matters here what it feels like. Taking any movement that your body needs in this position to find stability. And again, use that ankle movement, that very slow ankle movement, keeping all of your awareness in the sensations that it produces in your long leg. Now that it's supported on the ground, how is it different than before? Breathing deeply here on your next exhale. We're going to be lifting ourselves up on our hands just slightly, putting that right foot underneath us. We're lifting ourselves up into Skandasana. Maybe we're lifting ourselves up. So you can find any position here. If you need to bend this knee, absolutely, that's totally fine. You can be up on your toes like I am here. You can be down on your foot. You can have your toes out in front of you or your toes out to the side. Really listen to your body and feel what's going to feel good for you today. In this position, your knee can be slightly locked out because there's no weight really going through it, as long as there's no weight going through it. If you're just resting it on the ground, it's okay to have it a little slightly hyperextended here. Giving yourself a little bit of movement, noticing those sensations, keeping your awareness and your consciousness right here in your body. Rocking slightly back and forth. Bring some awareness to your breath here. Some slow ankle movements, point and flex. Be aware and conscious of all the sensations in your body. Be aware of the obvious ones and then try to find some not so obvious ones. How is your grounded ankle feeling? What about your elbows? The area between your eyes? The top of your head? On your next exhale, you can plant your hands. We're coming up onto both of our feet. So we're taking that long leg and bending it. From here, both of your feet are going to point towards, so they're parallel now with the long side of your mat, as comfortably as they can get. We're going to be lifting up. You might need a little more length, space in between. And when you're ready, on your inhale, you're going to be lifting straight up and you're going to be completely supported by your legs. Making sure that your knees are stacked over those ankles, using your hands to support if needed. Seeing how our low legs and our top legs work together to provide support. Find any movement here that you might need. Bringing up that energy from the earth, giving yourself a little extra time. On your exhale, releasing. Now we're coming to find Skandasana on the other side. So we're lengthening that right leg now, comfortably resting on your left. Breathing into any opening you might be feeling here. Keeping your sensations in your body and adjusting as needed. Each side is different. This one's pulling harder for me. So I'm trying to play and see if I need to bend my knee a little, keep a little bit forward, or if it's going to release with a little bit of time. Giving yourself some forward and backward movement. Really notice the quality of your sensations, especially in that long leg. Noticing how they're changing, how they're staying the same. Now add some pointing and flexing of your long ankle. Breathing deeply here. Bring your awareness now to your breath and to maybe some other places in your body that aren't as obvious. Like that grounded ankle, the inside of your left thigh, maybe your shoulders, and top of your head, your throat. On your next exhale, you can use your hands to release down to the ground. The inside, or the sole, of your left foot meets the inside of your right thigh. Arms come up to the sky. You feel as if the crown of your head is being pulled up to the sky, navel to spine. You're rotating slightly over that right foot and you're bending at your hips. When you get to the point you think your low back has to bend, that's the point you should stop. Make sure you're just bending at your hips. Releasing here, really paying attention to the sensations that you're having inside this beautiful body of yours, especially in these legs that help you stand tall in your own space. Breathing deeply. While we're here in our mind's eye, we'll imagine our next step. We're going to be moving in a semi-seated position up to the top of our mat. So however that looks for you. The soles of our feet will become touching together. And we're going to feel that opening in our thighs, in our lower legs. We'll be slowly easing ourselves back into a laying down position with our soles of our feet still touching. So in your mind's eye, imagine what that's going to look like for you and feel like on the inside as you move through these positions. On your next exhale, release your current position. And let's find that seated position at the top of your mat. However that works for you. Little scoochy scooch. The soles of your feet meeting together today. Stay here for just a moment, feeling that opening in your lower legs. Kind of press your right foot into your left foot, noticing how that changes the sensations between your two calf muscles, calf areas. Now push your left foot into your right, noticing the sensation changes there. On your next exhale, keeping that navel to your spine, slowly come back, supporting yourself with your hands if that's good for you today. Coming long. Giving yourself a moment here just to let all the tension release. Give yourself a quick little scan from the top of your head down to your toes. Noticing any sensations in each area. that you're really calling out to you. Taking a deep breath on that exhale, your feet come to the ground. So your knees are still in the air, but your feet are planted this time. And from here, let's see in our mind's eye, we're going to be lifting our hips up to the sky. We're going to be slowly moving our shoulder blades closer to each other by rocking back and forth slightly. And bringing our palms to touching or just to holding our hands underneath our body. So on your next inhale, go ahead and lift those hips up to the sky. Rock slightly onto your right side and move that left shoulder blade underneath a little bit more. Move over to the left side, bring that right shoulder blade a little closer, and continue for a few times until your hands are able to touch. You can interlace your fingers or bring palm to palm, even if you just fingertip touch, or if you're not touching at all, that's fine. You can have your hands just on the ground. Find your comfortable challenge here today, keeping that neck nice and long, having the weight borne through your shoulders. Notice the sensations that you're feeling here. As you start to release towards the ground a little bit, find a little extra strength to pull those hips back up. As we stay here in stillness, what are the sensations that you're feeling today? Feeling in this moment. And on your next exhale, gently release your position. Your hips come back to the ground. Continue your movement all the way over. We're coming onto our stomachs. Coming out long onto your stomachs here. Putting your hands on top of each other. Your head gently rests onto the back of your hands. Rock back and forth slightly a little bit. Again, sending your awareness through your body. Where are you feeling release? Where are you feeling some tension, contraction? Can you release even more fully and let go of more muscles? The ground can fully support you. In your mind's eye, see our next position. We're going to be lifting ourselves up on our forearms. Our back will be bending slightly backwards and be looking in front of us. You can stay on your forearms or up on your hands. And on your next inhale, let's do this. We're arching our back slightly or more exaggeratedly. You can stay on your forearms here or lift up on your palms. Breathing deeply into this back bend. Trying to make it as effortless and loose as possible. Relaxed. Take a deep breath here, and then on your exhale, release slowly back down. Very good. From here, we're going to meet each other at standing. Nope, sorry. We're going to start with our hips up in the air, with our feet and our hands grounded on the ground. We're making a pyramid shape with our body here, or a triangle shape. Give yourself a little movement here, and then slowly walk yourself back towards your legs. And notice when you start to get a little too tense here, when it starts to pull, you're gonna think, oh, that's pretty good for today. Pretty good for right now. So notice how this sensation is, where this sensation is. And then we'll release and come to standing. Take a moment here to just get back up to being upright. under the influence of gravity here. Taking a deep breath. We're going to slowly come up on our tiptoes, keeping your eyes open or closed. Balance-wise, eyes open are probably a good idea here. We're coming up slowly to our tiptoes to the top range of our tiptoes. And then we're going to release. We're counting down from 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Now kind of shake out those lower legs, just gently, feeling complete muscular relaxation. We're going to slowly again come up on our tiptoes. So starting now, slowly rise up, coming to the top of your range. And we're going to release for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Release again. Kind of wiggle out those ankles, that calf. Just imagine complete muscular relaxation in those lower legs. And we're going to slowly come up one more time. Slowly come up. Slowly, slowly. We're at the top of your tiptoe range and coming down for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Completely relaxing out now. Those lower legs. Imagine your mind's eye. So all those muscles are completely relaxed. Good. From here, we're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. I'll be starting with my left. Your left foot is in front of you. Your right foot or your other foot is behind you. We're finding again this position where our left knee is stacked over our left ankle and we're up on our tiptoes in the back. If you have your blocks, you can actually do this on your blocks with your heel slightly over on both sides. I'm going to need the wall to get me started here. We're going to start in this position. You can also just be on the ground. We're going to be coming up. Your hands can be in any position that makes you feel most comfortable. We're going to be lifting up, same thing, very slowly up on our tiptoes, up to the top of our range here, and then releasing for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're on your blocks, feel yourself even dip further down than neutral. Again, you can kind of give a little shake out to those lower legs. You'll meet up again, either on your blocks or on the ground. Lifting slowly, slowly up on your tiptoes to the top of your range. And then we'll release for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Completely relax. Shake them out. Last time on this side. We'll raise up slowly here. And we'll release for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Very good. Shake it out. Relax a little bit. Now we'll reverse. So this time, your right foot is in front of you. And your left foot is going to be behind you. Get your blocks positioned if you're on your blocks, with just the toe part, balls of your feet on the blocks. I'm going to be lifting up here slowly and releasing for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Completely relax. We can imagine as we're going through these positions, thinking about how our legs help us be strong in our life. They help us stand strong in our own space, All the things they do for us, every step requires them to work well. We're coming up slowly onto our toes and releasing for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Releasing one more. We have one more to do on this side. Imagine these muscles completely relaxing. And last time, up slowly, these amazing legs that do so much for us. And release for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Again, releasing and relaxing, kind of shaking out any tension. Take a moment to just stand here and imagine any tension from those low legs melting away. Visualize all your muscle fibers completely being relaxed and engaged. We're going to meet each other down once more in our triangle shape. We'll see if there's been any changes in those low legs. So your legs are on the ground, your feet are on the ground. You move your hands to the ground as well. Your hips are in the air. And start slowly walking your hands back to your feet. Do you notice any changes in the quality of the movement, in your tension? How does that feel today? Or now? Do you notice any changes, any differences? And gently relax, release. From here, we're going to bring our fingertips to in between our eyes. We're slowly pulling from between our eyes, just a few inches out, and then come back to midline. Again, pulling again, a few inches, back to midline, slightly above. We're going all the way around the crown. While we're doing this, really send your awareness to your calves. What are you noticing in your calves, if anything? Breathing deeply here, giving yourself a nice little massage. And here we're going to tap our cheekbones just slightly. Give yourself some gentle little taps. This really helps us stay in our body. Breathing deeply, releasing any extra tension you might feel. And we have a few minutes now. We can meet on our backs or any comfortable position you'd like. We'll take just a few minutes to be on our back. If you'd like to find Shavasana, you can use your pool noodle to give yourself a little backward hip tilt, keeping that low back neutral on the ground. You can also have your feet out wide on either side of the mat. Your knees fall in towards each other, or any position that's comfortable for you. If you'd like to today, you can use your hand to your block or any blanket or anything to support your hand as you rest it on your head, releasing all the muscles, engaging this neurovascular reflex to bring all the blood back to the front of your brain, further releasing any tension in your body. And breathe in for a count of 4. Let's try that. Let's breathe in for 4. And breathe out for 4. In for 4. Out for 4. In for 4. And hold for 2. Out for 4. In for 4. Hold. Out for 4. In for 4. Hold. Out for 5. In for 4. Hold. Out for 5. In for 4. Hold. Out for 5. And return to your natural breath. If you have your hand on your forehead, then switch to the other hand being on there. We'll just take another minute or so to have some quiet meditation time. I encourage you to really check in with your body and notice any sensations you're having. Anything you felt, has it changed over this course of the hour? Just letting your body talk to you and listening to its wisdom. Now you can bring your attention back to the present time. Bring yourself back to the room. Notice any smells you might hear, any sounds. And we'll slowly bring ourselves up to sitting. Opening your eyes, whatever time feels right. And we'll join each other in our ending namaste. Namaste means the divine light inside of me recognizes and honors the divine light inside of you. Namaste.